Think we're live. What's going on, everyone? It's Joanne here, your online brand and business coach to brands who mean business. I've got my girl Kristie here, and we're going to have a gritty conversation because this girl means business. It is no joke. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself first, let everyone know what you do, what your business is, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, awesome. My name is Kristie Higgs. I am an online personal trainer. I own a membership site, and then I do one-on-one coaching. I specialize in women's fitness, and I teach macros, weightlifting, and all that good stuff. So that's what I do.
Sweet. So we started working together, what, end of December?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was your business like then? Like before you started working with me, what was going on?
I was in a constant state of feeling just very, very chaotic. I did not feel like I knew, like I woke up and I was just working on the wrong things. And I just was frantic because I never knew when I was going to make more sales. Like what I was doing was not working. And I was getting to a point where I was burnt out and I was crying every single day, just out of frustration. I was
Who can relate? Nobody talks about like the entrepreneurial, like daily breakdown when you're in it, right? It's just like, and then you got to show up, but then behind the scenes, it's like, oh my God.
It's like you're crying right before you get on Instagram Live.
It'll be fixed.
Yes, exactly.
So what were you selling? Like, what was the membership? Like, what was the model like?
So there was no model. Really, like, to be transparent, my selling was hoping, like that was my model, was just hope. And so I was doing Instagram posts. I was trying to sell through my email list, but there was no rhyme or reason. It was just like, oh, well, I'm just going to send out this email today and hopefully somebody buys.
Okay, so for those of you that are tuning in, the reason why I'm so jacked about this conversation is because I talk to people every day that want to do it all, right? So they want to have coaching offers, they want to have membership sites, they want to have group coaching, then they want to, webinars and all the things. And like, you're one of them. So when we started talking and I saw your initial intake questionnaire, I was like, okay. And I always want to slow everyone down and say, okay, well, let's focus on something. And then like a little bribe, I'm always like, okay, if we do this first, then we can do this. And every once in a while, I come across a client who does all the things, like trust the process, does everything in the order, because when you focus on one thing, you can get to the next thing so much quicker. So what we were able to do is take all of the things that she wanted to do. And not only is it impossible to do all those things, where things get messy is when it's messy in your mind, because there's no focus, then it's overwhelmed, then you're getting flustered and all of that nonsense. So what we were able to do is like figure out a game plan, and I don't want to say to my surprise, but I was like, oh my God, the girl like did it. She met every deadline. And now within less than 2 months, like within the second month, we're already on to the next funnel. So what was it like for you to like organize all of the things that you want to do, put things on the side burner? Because a lot of people listening, they have to do that.
It was hard, but my personality, I do very, very well with structure. And the issue is that I didn't know what to work on, what to focus on. And so when in my mind, where I'm like, this is what's going to sell. And you're like, no, put that aside. We need to like fix this first. It was hard, but at the same time, I absolutely loved college. And I feel like I was like jumping into an accelerated business school where I had deadlines, because I work really well under pressure and having those timelines. And so when I know I have things that I need to get done, I'll get them done, and all my focus can be there. And the issue that I was having before was I had no problem working hard. I just didn't know what to work on. And so what I felt like, SJ, was I was coming up to the plate and I had my bat and I was ready to swing, and I was swinging with full force and I kept missing the ball, or I was just like fouling, like and it was so frustrating because all this energy I was like putting behind that swing, there was no connection. And as soon as me and you started working together, I felt like everything I was doing, I was finally connecting. And it like, it was, it's changed everything.
That's so awesome. let's talk about what we actually did. So what you had was a membership site model running weekly, 6-week challenges. That was the main focus. And the reason why I wanted to rein that back was because that takes a lot of work every time to launch. So while we can do all the things, and we're kind of reintroducing that now, I wanted to get something done that was simpler, which was coaching. So we moved the model from lower ticket, so lower price point, to a one-on-one model to give us a buffer to fix the back end of the business, to clean it up, so that we now have the infrastructure to then go ahead and reintroduce those other offers. So would you say you were someone, I was surprised when you were okay with doing the one-on-one coaching, and I always try to talk people into that. I was worried that you might, give some resistance on that, but what was it, we made the decision to go back to one-on-one coaching. So maybe from your point of view, if you can explain to anyone who's listening, who's wanting to create a course or a membership site, why that made sense and put us in the position we are now, so that we're doing what we're doing today.
I wasn't afraid of the one-on-one coaching because I'd done it in the past. Yeah. And I loved it. But the problem that was in my head was that I didn't think anybody would buy at that high ticket point. And so what I was doing, I was discounting myself, running group challenges with large groups to get as many people in. And it was quantity over quality. And when you were like, hey, we need to do this one-on-one coaching, I didn't verbally give you a resistance, but in the back of my mind, I was like, there's no way people are going to buy. And so just moving away from the challenges and focusing on the one-on-one, it completely changed everything, because now I'm working smarter, not harder. And the quality of clients that I have are, it's not that my quality of clients before, but it's different. It's so different. It's completely changed the dynamic.
So what did it change in terms of your workload? Because I say that because people think that coaching, and if people don't want to coach, I don't want them to coach forever. Like, we can move you out of a coaching model in the next 3 months if that's what you want. I have a feeling you're going to want to continue on some level, because once you have that connection with people, it's hard to give it up. However, if that's what you wanted. So a lot of people resist coaching because they don't want to give up their time for money, which of course contradicts the whole benefits of an online business, right? The goal is to get into products and courses and make money while you sleep. But there is this phase at the beginning when you're not making money trying to promote one of these products. It's really hard to get your business off the ground. So we use it as a buffer, right? So in terms of your time, your time spent while you have clarity with the one-on-one offer compared to what you were doing before. Give me some notes on that, because we're trying to sell people into this.
Yeah. No, the one-on-one coaching freed up a ton of my time, because now I've got a system where I'm not constantly trying to promote, sign up for my challenge, all this kind of stuff. And instead, we set up a system where they book a call, I hop on a call, we sell, we go. And it's so much more efficient. I'm not stressed about like the next launch constantly, like how much. Yeah. And because it's a higher ticket, one price for my one-on-one equals 20 people signing up for my challenge. That's on the money. And then what are we doing with that money is now we're reinvesting that into a different offer, right? Yeah. So this happened we talked about it, I think, right before the holiday break. Then I gave you a whole bunch of to-dos, and we launched in January. So within less than a month, we had cleaned things up, and you had changed your model from sending people right to buy something to booking a call. And then let's talk about the results, and then we'll talk about how you did it. So what were the results? Amazing. Mind-blowing, to be honest. We launched the emails and everything like that to get people to book. I closed 13 clients in a week and a half.
That's insane. At a price point of $997, right?
Yeah. So yeah, $997.
So $13K.
About $13K. Which is a third of what I made last year trying to do these challenges and selling my membership site. So yeah, it's completely blown my mind. And it's awesome. It's something that I've always wanted to do with the one-on-one, but, are you
back? Down here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. It's something that I've always wanted to do, but I didn't have the confidence to do it. And I think that was a huge part of it, because I remember you said, Kristie, this could be potentially a really big month for you. And I was like, KSJ, whatever.
I remember saying I always I'm like, get ready, because for me, I look at the numbers. I look at the data, right? So for anyone who's paying, who's watching, the reason why we did that so quick is because she has an audience of people. And I'll have the same conversation with you as I would with anyone else. If you're coming to the table with an audience and you're working with me for the first time, I don't know how that audience is going to do. I don't know if that audience is going to bite. I don't know if it's the right people or the wrong people. I have no idea. What we have to do is we have to try. But if it's the right audience, and then you have the right offer and the right system, you can have, and that's when I remember I looked at your numbers and I'm like, if it's the right people, you can set yourself up for a big month. Was that the biggest month you've ever had?
Oh, I've never had a 5-figure month before, ever. In my entire life, ever. Like, so it was crazy. So crazy.
So good. So what was it that in your mind, what was it that worked to get those 13 clients to pay you $1,000 when you had a mindset of, my audience, my people will not pay that?
I think it was getting on the call and building that relationship. It's especially cold clients.
We're talking about the sales call, right?
What was that? I'm sorry.
We're talking about the sales call.
Yeah, the sales call. I think that is what made a huge difference. Oh, you're frozen. Or maybe I'm frozen. Are you still there, SJ?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I think it was having the sales call, especially in my industry, where everybody's like, oh, we're just emailing. I don't want any actual face-to-face contact. That's huge. That's huge. So you can get into their pain points, and you can, actually, I don't want to say sell them on it, but
selling is all based on emotion, right? And then when you have another body on the other side and they want something, and you get to know them and you care about them and you offer the solution, right? A lot of people look at this selling thing like it's like I'm selling you, or thinking used car, selling someone something they don't want. But this is, if someone has invested the time to show up on the other side, they want something. And it's our jobs then to identify if it's the right fit and provide the solution. So that's crazy. You had, a huge month, and I remember checking my phone every morning and looking for my messages. I'm and then I got the updates and I'm keep sending them. It was 9 sales, 10 sales. I was oh my God, this is amazing. So I'm so proud of you. And this is because of your work ethic, right? This is if I could figure out how to communicate work ethic and trusting the process and diving into something when you don't know all the things that I know as a coach, or if you can't see it the way that I can see it, it's trusting the process. And somehow, some way, if I could figure out how to communicate that properly to people so that they get that, so that they have the work ethic to focus on that small thing that's a part of the bigger picture, then we would have so much more success. What is it that, how do you, when it comes to your work ethic and how you just do, what's behind that?
I think it's two parts. I think it's the entrepreneur mindset, where there's always that light at the end of the tunnel, always. And that really drives me as well. But as a health and fitness coach, exactly what you just said, I tell my clients, I'm you need to trust the process. You have to do the daily work. You have to do the little things, because they're going to add up to get those results. And so when I signed up to work with you and I made that investment, I
remember you saying about how you were really on the fence with that investment.
I was on the fence.
Or nervous about it.
I was nervous about it because I had just bought out my partner. So I was already out a lot of cash. And I was if I'm going to make this successful, I know I've got to invest. Just like I tell my clients, if you want to be successful in your health and fitness goals, you've got to invest in yourself. And so the psychology behind it, for me, when you're hey, Kristie, you need to work on this and this and this, it's no different than me telling my clients, hey, this is what you need to work. Focus on the daily work. Don't focus on the results. Focus on the process.
Yeah.
and results will come. And so to me, it's like, that's the work ethic behind me because of what I teach my clients. It's the same thing in my eyes.
Yeah. You were really able to take this on like as a student, right? Because, you know, I coach people all day long and it's like, people know what to do, but yet there's a disconnect between doing that one thing because the bigger picture is a little bit confusing. So it's really having that trust. But yeah, you came in as a student and every single time we talked, it was done. What's next? What's next? And I was like, this is a dream. So that's, you know, that's something that we all can learn from when it comes to, you know, I have coaches that I work with on things and I question things and I don't know things, but when you're trusting someone and you've made that investment and you've made a decision, sometimes it's just put your head down on the next little step, you know, and meet the deadline because you're invested and that's what it takes. So, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say that's exactly what it was. I just kind of was like, I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase, you pay to pay attention.
Yeah.
And because I invested in this, I was like, I looked at it as no differently as investing in college or schooling. Instead of me going back and investing this money into a master's degree, I'm like, I'm going to invest in a business coach.
Yeah.
And I approached it as a student because I am not a marketer. I did not go to school for business.
You are now.
I am now. But yeah, I think approaching it like a student is the biggest thing that you have to do because it's a learning process. You can't sign up and expect, I did not expect you to do the work for me. I knew that I was going to have to hustle. And it's part of, you know, it's my brand and my business, Girl Hustle. Like, I know how to hustle.
So what would you say to someone who, like, this is so relatable to, and the reason why I have these chats is because I know that I can talk about my business and show numbers and things, but it seems a little bit far-fetched just because I've been doing it for a little bit longer and this is what I do. So I love having these chats because it's relatable. Like you were December 2018, like a month ago, 2 months ago, you were like all over the place, the wrong business model, focusing on all the wrong things, you know, working an insane amount of hours and not having those results. And it was just, so this is like 2 months ago, not even. And now you're a marketer, which is like the number one thing I want to teach my clients. Beyond giving you a successful launch, beyond you having a 10K week, I want you to be a marketer and think of things this way. So, and that's happened in such a short time. So what would you say to someone who is at where you were at December 2 months ago, like 2018?
You know, when I got on that sales call to sign up with you, I cried. I was to a point of defeat, and I was waking up every single day just like, I don't know what to do. And my anxiety was just like absolutely insane. And as soon as I was like, I'm doing this, I felt 1,000 times better just because I knew I was going to get help. And so if you are willing to trust the process and if you're willing to do the work, SJ, you've changed my business. You've changed it. I had this business for 8 months and it was the exact same thing every single day. Like I was not growing at all. And you like took me from here to here in a matter of 5 weeks, which is just like totally insane. So the girl in December of 2018 would never have dreamed to be here in February of 2019. I feel like a completely different person. My business model is totally different. My clientele dynamic is totally different. I think it's just a matter of, if you really want success, you've got to be willing to put in the work and get ready to level up. And that's the thing that I love about entrepreneurship is that there is no, like, working hard is a matter of just leveling up. And when you're your own boss, you have the opportunity to do it. Like, sky's the limit. When you're in a salary job, it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're never going to make more money.
There's no ceiling.
There's no ceiling when you're an entrepreneur. And it's just, I've always known that, but I never knew how to get there. And your system is what has like proven that it's like, my mind is still blown. My mind is still blown.
I remember all the messages are coming through. You're like, I'm mind blown. I'm like, I told you so.
I don't know. It's so crazy. So crazy.
I think a big part of it too is like, what people don't want to talk about is strategy. because it's not, you know, the funnest thing to talk about. But when you don't know what you're doing, like how can you expect to wake up every day and sit down at a computer and stare at the screen when you're not working on something that's going to get you somewhere? And that's like this, like, in my opinion, this like elephant in the room in entrepreneurship, especially in online marketing, because people know what they want. They know they're lost and they're confused, but they don't have the game plan to get there. And somehow they just keep going and going and going and trying the next, watch a YouTube video, do that, watch this, take it, you know, and it's like doing all these things. All of this stuff's up against the wall, but there's no game plan. So when I'm looking at all the stuff on the wall, I'm like, what a mess. Like, let's clean this up so that it makes sense, right? And that is something like, but as soon as we did that, you got these results, right? So, you know, your ability to focus, you know, your hustle, you being good at what you do to have built that community in the first place, this is really what made this happen. But now that we're here, now that we've cleaned some things up in the background, we've cut some ideas and some things off that weren't really making sense. What's next? I know, but why don't you share?
I am working on a webinar right now. The slides are done. That took me an entire week to do.
But they're sick.
So that's done. I'm in the middle of writing all the emails for this launch that's happening at the end of February. So I'm doing all this behind the scenes work, and we're going to launch this webinar and promote my membership site. So I won't be doing the one-on-one coaching. I'm not launching that. I'm launching the membership site, and the goal is to warm those clients so eventually they'll want to buy into the one-on-one coaching. So it's interesting how, like, I just want to like say this because I absolutely loved, this is what got me, is when you were like the Ferrari concept. I love it because my landing page looks great. My membership site looks great. I had this really pretty looking car. I didn't have an engine that ran though. And the all show and no go, that really, really stuck with me. And so I even feel like right now, because I've never done a webinar before, I'm in that, just trust the process, just do what she says because it's going to pay off. But I still have that anxiety where I'm just like, man, I really hope I don't fall on my face.
I have that anxiety about new things I'm trying. And the cool thing is, if I'm being honest, once you've done this a few rounds, like once you've launched a few things, some are going to bomb, some are going to do great. Like you're not always going to have a slam dunk like you did your first month, but over time, you just learn to really look at things from the lens of a marketer. And when you do that, and you're looking at why, and you're looking at the numbers, the answers in terms of what happened are always right in front of you. And that's in my business. If I have something that doesn't work so well and I can go back and reverse engineer what happened, the why is so obvious. So this is where you get to a point where it's not about you and your stuff not working. It's about that isolated promotion or that launch or the messaging or the people or there was something broken in the engine that didn't make this work. And when you look at things from that lens and you remove the emotion, that's when you really start cooking, because you just fix it and you repeat. You fix it and you repeat. If this webinar doesn't convert, we fix it and we repeat. And that's the beauty of getting to this point where you've had success, where you know in your back pocket, hey, if this doesn't work, I'm going to do it at one-on-one promo, get some cash to funnel my next one. And then after a while, you build up your residual income because you've got your payment plans going on. And that's when, you know, things really start feeling a lot easier. The anxiety goes away and it becomes fun, because you're testing different things for your audience. And you're going to get there, like with this year, you're going to be sitting there taking a look at, maybe your audience likes webinars. Maybe they want, you'll start seeing really quickly what type of messaging, what type of promotion your audience jives with. And I can't wait to get you there, because it's already so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's scary. And I'm so grateful to have your vision, because I feel like I'm like very tunnel vision, and you can kind of like, you can see all of it. And so I feel like I'm still in like the trust the process part.
They're like, we're still holding hands.
Yeah, we're still holding hands. But I know that it will get to a point, because you can see it. I have a hard time separating my emotions from the facts. And so it's very, very helpful to have your guys' insight into like, okay, this is what needs to be fixed, because I thought I had a great business before I met you. I really did. I just didn't understand why I wasn't
Why
making
it was so difficult.
why it was so hard. So I wake up every day like I hit the ground running because I know exactly what I'm working on for the day. And that to me is just huge.
It's so true. It's so emotionally, like energetically draining when you're putting energy in, and in the back of your mind, you know, like this isn't what you, or you don't know if this is what you're supposed to be doing. And it's like, I'm working, but what's the game plan here? And that's really where strategy comes in. That's where, you know, trusting a coach, whether it's myself or any other business coach who you believe in, and when you trust them in their process, whether it's through you know, a mastermind like the one you're in, or whether it's a coaching program, there has to be this element of letting go to understanding every little thing along the way, and surrendering to, okay, I trusted this person in their process, and now I'm going to work on the next step. And that's the hard, you know, entrepreneurs have such a tough time with that because we're dreamers. Like, we, you know, we're creators. We want to worry about the end goal. We want the result. But like you said, if we're focused on, obsessed with that result, which is making money, serving clients, and having this business, all the little things that are so important along the way get missed, right? Like, we went ham on your messaging. We changed up your audience. We changed up the age of your audience. Like, you doing the webinar, I can read your slides and see that all the conversations that we had, you got it. Because you were focused on creating emotion through your communication, which ultimately is what is going to make your webinar work. So it's all of those little things, and having fun along the way too, because it's a lot.
It is a lot. And I feel like as a business owner, because you're already wearing so many hats, like, you're just like exhausted. Everybody has different strong suits, and strategy is not one of mine. Like Battleship as a kid, like I always lost at that game. Like any sort of strategy games, I like stayed away from because I have such a hard time seeing the bigger picture. And so having your help in like mapping it out has been like, it's been a huge game changer. It really has, because that strategy factor is what I was missing, because business, marketing, this getting into the psychology of the client, it never clicked with me before. I mean, like it's still clicking.
Guys, this is like, we've you know, killed it within 1 month. We've still got time to go. So we're going to launch a webinar. I can't wait to you know, show up with those numbers and what happened and dissect what worked and what didn't work. Thank you so much for sharing so openly about your numbers and about your business. If anyone's watching and you're looking at this and you're saying, wow, she made 10K or 13K in a week and a half, you're listening to me, nothing about, like, obviously that's awesome. But if that's not where you're at in your business right now, it's a matter of doing all the things that we were just talking about, and focusing and trusting the process, and not identifying as being overwhelmed or stuck and confused, and seeing that maybe you don't have strategy, and then doing what you need to do to go after and recruit the coaches or the programs or whatever you need to make sure that you get that missing piece, because you can't do it all. And the final thing I want to say on that is, if it feels hard, it's because it is hard. I think that we're getting swallowed by this like Instagram world, and I think there's like some confusion about what having an online business looks like. It's a lot of work. You will break down. It will break you down. There will be, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, minus the blood, but there will definitely be sweat and tears. And it's hard. You know, my clients don't tell me the breakdowns that they have. I know that they're having behind the scenes because I can sense it. I have those same breakdowns behind the scenes. So I just want to lead, you know, as a coach, and just share that that is what we're signing up for, because we put our heart and soul into what we do. We want it so bad. We're so attached to what we're doing. We want it to work, that creates this emotion, and it is hard. So if it feels that way, we're all in the same boat. It's just a matter of being able to separate and take action regardless of all of that, because it's what you want so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. And the way you look at it, and I know you've been in the health and fitness industry as well, it is no different than somebody who wants to lose weight.
Yeah.
Like, you want the end results, but if you don't have the strategy, if you're waking up every day and you're confused about what to do at the gym or how to eat and stuff like that, like it's going to take you that much longer to get there. hire a coach, hire SJ to help you get your business. No, seriously, like if I could give anybody advice who needs help growing their business because they don't know what to do, they don't have the strategy, they need to hire a coach just like you would hire a personal trainer. Really, at the end of the day, that's exactly how I look at it.
I agree. Well, let's touch on that for a second. I appreciate you promoting me so much. I'm so grateful for that, and it means the world to me to get to do this, because this is what, you know, this is my business. This is what I'm passionate about. It's like, you want to get your clients results, I need you to get results. So this is really what it's all about. When you find the sweet spot with what it is you want to do, it's this. It's having conversations with people that have gone through your process and trusted you, and then gotten the result on the other side. That's what you live for. That's what I live for. So on choosing a coach, while, you know, I'm not going to be the person that says, work with me, right? Go to stephaniejoanne.com. Sure, if that's your style. You have to find someone who you like, because you're going to, like, you have to find someone whose style resonates with you. I will always say, I'm not for everybody. I'm not everybody's style, but you have to feel connected to the person that you are deciding to hire, whether it's their program or a course or coaching. So that is something that is so important, that I never, when people don't want to work with me, or when people, you know, leave like haterade on my stuff, I'm like, it's no problem. I really truly hope for anyone that's listening, if I'm not your jam, then there's so many coaches out there who all have different styles. The goal is that you're successful. It's not what you get in the program that's listed. It's having a feeling. You have a gut feeling of, that's my person. That's the person I trust. That's the person, like, you just know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I say the exact same thing. I'm like, I'm not everybody's flavor. And everybody has their own philosophies. Everybody has their own training styles. And it goes from business coach to fitness coach or whatever it is. And it has to resonate. And I like that you talk fast. I like that you're very efficient. There is no BS. You don't sugarcoat things, because that's how I am as a coach. And so, you know, like when I did I researched. I did, and I always tell people, do your research. There were a lot of business coaches that they were a little bit too soft for me, if that makes sense. Like, I needed somebody that was going to be like, do this and this and this, and if you don't get it done, you're gonna fail, because that's what I needed. And I hopped on one of your webinars, and you said a few things that I was like, oh, she is in my head. And I don't know, I liked that you talked really fast. Like, I just loved it.
And then I get a whole bunch of messages from people that don't like that I talk too fast, or say something, or give me feedback that I should have said something with a little bit of sugar coating. So you're not going to be everyone's style, just like everyone's not going to be your style. And that's the beautiful thing about what we do. We get to find our people, and they're out there by the millions. So it's on us, like I always say, to build the business, to put on that marketing hat, and to follow a strategy to get it done. So I'm so grateful for you, and thank you so much for your time. We have a coaching call. I don't know. I know a little bit. I'm so grateful for you. And listen, girl, we're gonna, like, when I have someone like you who does the things and trusts me, like, I get goosebumps with like what we can do, because I know I'm gonna see it through. And it's just like me reliving. I know there's no launch I could have that's like me reliving what you're going through now. Because when it first starts to work, the first time you see, like, did I just make $13,000 in a weekend? Did that just happen? Like, is that on my bank account right now? Like, that I will never forget that moment for myself. So when I get to relive it through clients like yourself, it's like, it's orgasmic, girl.
Oh, I totally agree. I was just going to say, it's no different for me when my clients are like, Kristie, I've lost 10 pounds in 5 weeks. I'm like, I remember that feeling where it just like clicks. And what I love about you and what makes you a good coach is that you recognize that you're not everybody's flavor, but your true passion is to get people results. And that resonated with me, because I'm the same way, for sure.
I appreciate that so much, girl.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. If anyone wants to find you, where can they find you?
Instagram.com/KristieHiggs, or if they want to check out my website, www.girl-hustle.com. Thank you for everything you do. I wouldn't be here without you smiling.
We're going to turn the recording off and we're going to have a moment here right now because this is what we do. How many times have we already cried? I love it so much. All right, guys, everyone, you feel free to check her out. I'm going to put her handles and the website. You guys, whether you're looking at how she's running her business or you need some fitness coaching, you got to check this girl out. She definitely is on fire. And thank you so much again. I'm going to turn this off and we can have our moment here because I know it has to happen. How do I get this? Where am I going here? I got so many different screens open. Or maybe I got to end the meeting and I'll jump back in with you.
No, you're fine.
Okay.